Hey there, welcome to my channel Rattling Junkie. My name's David. On today's video we will be discussing bear behavior, something that I'm pretty passionate about. I love bears, I love hunting bears, and they taste pretty good, but I really love viewing the bears. That's the one thing I like about hunting bears over bait. You get to see a lot of them, generally speaking, if you're in the right area, and you get to really observe their interactions with each other, with their surroundings, and even with you at times. So today's subjects are going to be two little bears. They look like they're probably a year and a half old. Probably the mothers kicked them out, so they're on their own. And yeah, I'll just walk you through it and my perspective and thoughts on it. So yeah, let's get started. You can see these two bears that, like I said, they're young. I'm guessing they're 2.5 years old. I said earlier they're 1.5, but they would have spent a couple years with the mother. They could be siblings, and I would say that they're both boars. Kind of show you what I mean in a bit. You can generally see what they're packing, if they're male or female. These bears are standing up, so you'll be able to definitely see. And I can see right there, the bear on the right is definitely a male. The other bear on the left looks very similar in stature and size, and I would say that's probably a male as well. Well, let's have a little bit of a look here. And what they're doing right now, from what I can tell, is that they're just kind of testing themselves, really like training, because as they get more mature and during the rut, they're going to have to fight for dominance and for breeding rights over a sow. So really this is just getting them some experience, building some muscle, and yeah, basically just training. So I wouldn't say they're fighting. Some people would say this is fighting. This is just wrestling. And like I said again, for the third, fourth time, training. There's another bear that's walking in, so that's why they're a bit nervous. Stopped. So if you've been following along, the one on the right's definitely the male. This one on the left, I'm unsure when they're that small. Yes, I'm hunting. I'm bow hunting here, but obviously these bears are too small to take. There wouldn't be a lot of meat on them. As you can see, that third bear is there. It's a bit bigger. So these ones are just being cautious and seeing what's going on. Yeah, they're still a bit nervous. That bear's a bit bigger, so they don't want to be distracted. If that one goes, gives them a slap. It's another reason why you wouldn't shoot these immature bears, because you can't tell if one's a sow or a boar. You don't want to shoot the sows because they reproduce, and you're just taking more bears out of the population. I guess if you wanted to reduce the bear population, then yeah, you would be on a management practice to take a sow or two out of the population, but generally that's not the case. They're slow reproducers. Every 2 to 3 years they'll reproduce, so you need to practice good management. So now I'm just trying to see if I can decipher whether that one on the left is a sow or a boar. I definitely know the one on the right is the boar, because I've been keeping track. So to tell the difference, obviously, if you can see the goods, then you can tell if it's a sow or a boar for sure. But if you can't, you try and look at head size. A narrower head's generally going to be a sow. If they're going to have a tapered shoulder down to their hind quarter, like, or I should say the belly line, if it's tapered from the shoulder to the hind leg, it's generally a sow. A boar is going to have a straight belly, and a sow is going to have small ankles. Like I said, it's really hard to tell on bears these size unless you see the goods. Yeah, so there they kind of scared each other, unless they heard another bear. I forget if there's another bear that's coming in right now. It'd be pretty impressive if they did hear another bear coming in, because they were causing quite a ruckus there in the dead leaves. Let's just wait to see what happens here. Pretty neat to be able to see this in the wild. We are quite lucky here in Manitoba to be able to do this. And I'm panning over back to the bait site, and there's a beautiful colored bear on the bait. And there's another somewhat mature bear. Still a younger one. So we're back over to the twins, I'll call them. Bears generally aren't in a hurry to get anywhere. They're quick, but they move slow. Some people think their eyesight isn't the greatest. Sometimes I just don't think they care as much as other animals because they are a predator. I really think it's neat how they stand up there. Oh, now we have that other bear coming in. Must have been the one just before that I showed on camera, circled around. I think at this point they quit sparring with each other. And you'll see this one. I'm up in the tree here about 12 feet. He knows exactly where I am. So he's curious. He's feeling pretty good right now about himself, I guess. Because the other one walked off. He's stood his ground. Even though, like I said, they weren't full out fighting. Just sparring, training. He's decided to play tug of war with the strap there. There's got to be another bear coming in. And I think the time here was about like 8:30 in the evening at the spot eye bear hunt. Generally, big bear doesn't come in past 8:30, 9 o'clock at this particular area of the province. That's not typical for most areas because this is an area that's not hunted heavily. So the bears act a bit more natural. The bigger boars in heavily hunted areas will come right at last light. Not always, but generally here they don't. I've never seen a big bear in 10 years, 11 years of hunting this general area right at last light. Especially when all these little bears are around. It's not a good sign. Because then that big guy's not coming in because I feel quite confident. He's taking off. He's going to want to check out that bear. Got that gorgeous brown bear there. In another video, I'll show you him a bit closer. That one is definitely a boar. I'll show you that in another video, why I believe that, or, well, I know that he's a boar. So that's one bear, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bears all within, let's say, 20 yards of the bait, 30 yards. If I could bait without barrels, I would. The barrels are somewhat ugly in my opinion, but that's the only practical way to bait them, because when you're leaving it a week at a time, you can't be there every day to put some bait on the ground. So I use the strategy of quantity and quality, but quantity over quality in this situation. Alright, thanks for watching. That video is done for today. If you like this format, let me know in the comments below. Subscribe if you like. It's free. So, yeah, it doesn't hurt. And you can always unsubscribe later on if you don't like the channel. Well, until next time, later.